if you are in an estranged relationship with your parents, especially your mom, sometimes your dad, you are going to be triggered by what I have to say. So turn the volume up because this is going to be significant. Hi, my name is Annie, and this is Grand Alienation. We provide resources for alienated grandparents. This message is for any adult, anyone, like even people my age have an estranged relationship with their parents. So there's a tremendous amount of learning in that relationship. I was watching a video this morning. It was just a little short, and it was some guy who was a presenter. I might put it in my video. But he was talking about a difficult relationship with this person's mom. So if you are in a difficult relationship, let's just say for mom, just for the purposes of this conversation, you are in a strained relationship with your mom and you decide, I can't take you anymore. I'm just going to cut you off. I just can't with you. So there are two things to learn. First of all, your parent, the relationship that you have with your parent as an adult person, having a strained relationship with my mother, there's a lot of learning in it for you, because we learn when we experience contrast, when we experience difficulty, when we experience, struggle. Nobody learns anything by pressing the easy button. And as human beings, we are here to learn. You start learning the minute you were born, and you are still learning until the day you die. If you are not learning every step of the way in your life, then what are you doing? You're like wasting your life, because every contrast, every problem that you have is an opportunity to learn to be a better person. And that is, part of the whole deal of my channel is for the alienated grandparents, for the estranged grandparents. There's things that you got to learn about yourself in this time away from your child to make you a better person. And also, conversely, the same thing for the kid. So if you have a strained relationship with your mom or your dad, instead of cutting them off, think about the lessons that you have that are being laid at your feet. There's things to learn about yourself, things to learn about conflict resolution, about compromise, about negotiation. There's a lot of things that you can learn about yourself and about your parent. If you are a young adult who has cut off your parents because they're toxic, they're narcissistic, they are triggering, what else are they? Those are the words of the day. And I've been doing some words of the day. So we will go over that, and I'll probably put a link on this side. I'll put a link to one of those videos about word of the day. But if your parents, they trigger you, they don't respect your boundaries, all of those things, and you cut them off because of that, what you are doing, especially if you have young person, if you have young children, what you're learning by experiencing this strained relationship with your parents is you are learning how to have a productive, healthy relationship with your parent. And for the parents, you are learning how to, as a young parent, what you're learning from that relationship with your mom, with your difficult mom, is how to parent an adult. So when your child becomes your age, you already know, you've already gone through these lived experiences. So you're wasting an opportunity to learn how to parent your child in every stage of his life. Does that make sense? So by working on your relationship with your mother, young adult, by working on your relationship with your mother, negotiating, sitting, having productive conversations, saying, hey, I need to take a time out. Practice all of these kinds of negotiation tactics, relationship tools. Practice them with your parent, because out of it, you will have a better relationship. You are creating and building a better relationship with your parent by going through and working through all of the difficulties. And also, young adult, you could be teaching your parents how to have introspection, how to take a look at your behavior and what you did. Maybe you can point out things in a kind way. Maybe you can say things in a different, present the information in a different packaging, if you will. Because if you keep saying the same thing, you're not respecting my boundaries, not respecting my boundaries. If they don't understand what that means, obviously, if they keep violating it, they're either clueless, selfish, or they don't even know what a boundary is. You have to teach them. And yeah, it may be exhausting, but guess what? You have to teach your kids. How many times are you going to tell your kid to pick up his laundry in his room? Why would you throw your pants next to the laundry basket? Why don't you put it inside the basket? It's right next to it. How many times do you have to tell them that? Not once or twice, right? And don't argue with me on that one, because I know I had 2 kids. So you're missing out on opportunities by cutting them off. It's like, I don't know, it's like cutting off your nose to spite your face. You know that saying. You're missing out on an opportunity to build a better relationship with your mother. And also, most importantly, you are modeling what a healthy relationship looks like for your child. Because guess what? When your kid becomes a teenager or a young adult, they already know how to have a relationship with their aging parent by what you did with your mother. You got that one? You understand what I'm talking about? Yes, I've had my own lessons to learn. And as a person in this skin, in this time in my life, I'm looking back and wish I could have done things differently. But you could actually help young adults. You could actually help your parent work through these things so that they can be a better human being. And also, grandma and grandpa, I'm talking to you now, realize that there's no right or wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. Everything is a negotiation, and you have to be flexible and amenable if you want to build your relationship, build it better than it was before. So if you are in an estrangement, the easiest way, okay, so then here's another thing too. You're listening to what I'm saying, and oh yeah, okay, Annie was right. Maybe I should give my mom some chances, and we should talk it through and see if we can work things out. But I don't know how to make that first phone call, because guess what? I was the same way. I didn't know how to make that first phone call. And I heard from a friend whose daughter had cut him off and not talked to his daughter for a year. And he called me. He's like, oh, hey, I heard about you guys. And he said, same thing happened to us. I'm like, so how's it going? And he said, one day out of the blue, she just called me. She just called me and pretended like nothing was different. I go, hey, Dad, such and such. I want to go and do this thing. You think you can help me? And what did he say? He didn't go, oh, so you don't talk to me for a whole year and then you call and pick up the phone and call me. No, he just went with it. And he's like, sure, daughter. Yeah, whatever you need. Now come on over. Let's make dinner and we can watch a movie together. Remember, we used to watch football all the time. Come over. There's a game on this Sunday. So you pick up the phone and you call, or you can text, whatever you feel more comfortable with, because, when you pick up the phone and you call somebody, you don't know what you're going to get, right? It's like Forrest Gump said, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get unless you poke your finger in the bottom of the chocolate. You can see if it's like caramel or if it's that white gross stuff. So when you, if you want to reach out to your parent, text them and say something just like super innocuous and insignificant, like, oh, we were going to go look at the Christmas lights. Did you want to come? Yeah, I want to come. So you can easily, it's not hard to reach out to your parent. And if the grandparents are watching and listening, when your child reaches out to you and offers an olive branch, it's not going to be, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Just allow them to step back into your life so that you guys can start rebuilding again, because nobody wants to go back to the way it was. Everybody wants to have a better relationship going forward. And how do you do that? You don't cut your parents off. You work through it. Because again, the lesson for this video is that there are lessons in that. There are lessons in the contrast and the struggle between you and your parents. So if you really want to build a better relationship, go back and watch the video from the beginning, because I bet you could yield a lot of golden nuggets from this, because that's what I got just from watching that little video, is that there are lessons for us, parents, young parents, even for children. So we don't have to cut people off if we want to have a healthy relationship to model for the little grandbabies. Okay, so that's all I had to share for today. I forgot to ask you to comment. In fact, I do love to hear your comments. That's all I had for today. Bye for now.